What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Perky Films. Today we're looking at 7 My 600 Pound Life stories that will have you super emotional. First up, Robert Bushell. Robert Bushell's situation on his episode of My 600 Pound Life was dire from the outset. It didn't take long for Dr. Now to discover that he not only weighed nearly 850 pounds, but that he also had an addiction to painkillers like Diluwa did. Pretty serious stuff. But after a rocky start, Bushell was able to finally get some control over his compulsive overeating habits. The Forked River, New Jersey resident had a lot of love on his side, including that of his mother and his fiancée, Catherine. With that support and a whole lot of work, Bushell managed to lose a significant amount of weight under Dr. Now's watchful care, almost 350 pounds. If you include the surgical removal of lymphedema mass, that's impressive. Unfortunately, the removal of this mass rendered Bushell depressed and longing for painkillers once again. He even tore his stitches hoping to get more of them. And unfortunately, before the episode ended, Bushell passed away from a heart attack in November of 2017. At number 2, the Asante brothers.
Stephen missed his appointment a few days ago.
Few of the stars of My 600 Pound Life are more notorious than the Asante brothers, Stephen in particular. The pair may be bound by blood, but Stephen's antics ensured that he and Justin were not very brotherly to one another. For one, he pretended that he was following Dr. Now's strict diet during the show, but he was binge eating unhealthy foods behind everyone's back. Additionally, he would manipulate and bully everyone, including his father, to get what he wanted. He also did his damnedest to continue abusing painkillers, including stealing Justin's while he was healing from his gastric bypass. Because of Stephen's continued and repeated abusive behavior towards his brother, Justin ended up quitting Dr. Now's program, in spite of both brothers and Dr. Now's best efforts. He also accused the show of blackmailing him in a now deleted Reddit post. At the time of writing, he lives in Rhode Island. It looks like Stephen is out of the program too, as he's now living in Iowa and surprisingly married, according to Starcosm. Here's hoping that both get the medical care that they need. At number 3, Sean Milliken.
My 600-pound life star Sean Milliken, who was known as the reality TV series Heaviest Subject, has died days after being hospitalized.
Sean Milliken seemed like he was moving in the right direction after a rocky start to his weight loss journey. After initially weighing in at nearly 900 pounds and being mostly immobile, Milliken was finally able to turn things around and get weight loss surgery. That in turn helped him drop hundreds of pounds and regain his ability to walk. According to his follow-up episode of My 600 Pound Life, Where Are They Now?, it was evident that he was putting in the work. But in 2018, tragedy struck and Milliken's mother passed away from renal failure. According to a follow-up video released by TLC, understandably he was devastated as he and his mother were extremely close. Additionally, since he was his supporter, he had to move out of his Houston apartment. He was clearly thrust into a very difficult situation in more ways than one. At number 4, Penny Sager. Having the courage to work with Dr. Now and appear on My 600 Pound Life is not an easy one, as any of the show's stars would tell you, and unfortunately for some of the patients, they're just not really willing or able to conquer their addiction to food. Such is the case with Penny Sager, who appeared on the show in season 2 and a year later on her follow-up episode. At first, there was a ray of hope as she was able to lose 40 pounds on a controlled diet, so Dr. Now approved her for weight loss surgery. However, after Sager's gastric bypass, instead of losing weight, she gained 5 pounds. Clearly, she was having food brought to her under the radar. Sager eventually left Houston and moved back to her home in Maryland, quitting the program altogether against Dr. Now's medical advice. In her follow-up episode, he did not mince words and said plainly that her addiction will indeed kill her in a matter of time. Yikes. At number 5, Kelly Mason. Things started looking up for Mason when Dr. Now admitted her to a hospital where she was able to lose over 200 pounds. She then had weight loss surgery and dropped another 100. Quite the accomplishment. Upon discharge, she was hopeful and was committed to sticking to her diet and exercise regimen. Sadly, Mason's heart had already been through too much despite her best efforts, and she passed away during filming in her sleep of a heart attack in February of 2019, according to Inquisitor. Dr. Now did point out, however, that she hadn't returned to her old habits. She went down fighting. At number 6, James King. When King arrived in Houston, he wasn't happy, and he hadn't lost the weight Dr. Now wanted him to either. He dropped a bit while supervised, but soon thereafter, viewers learned that King had instead gained enough to weigh in at 840 pounds. Eventually, Dr. Now told him to leave if he wasn't willing to adhere to the program. In King's follow-up episode, things had not improved. In fact, Dr. Now actually called Adult Protective Services on King's girlfriend when he discovered King's organs were failing, and she was bringing him food while in the hospital. Dr. Now also dismissed him once again, citing his inability to make changes. Clearly, the situation wasn't good. Sadly, King passed away at age 49 in April of 2020, according to TMZ. And finally, at number 7, James L.B. Bonner.
I've never done therapy before, and the thought of it doesn't appeal to me.
By the end of the show, it was clear that Bonner was a success story. He went from 650 pounds to less than half of that, and was sticking to his diet and exercise regimen. Additionally, he had become a burgeoning social media star with more than 8,000 Facebook followers, according to Starcasm. He was doing so well and losing so much weight that TLC put this quash on his photo and video sharing, which might have spoiled any follow-up episodes or given too much away. But sadly, no follow-up episode would ever air. That's because tragically, Bonner committed suicide in the summer of 2018 at age 30, according to People magazine. The cause of death was a single self-inflicted gunshot to the head. His motivation for ending his life is not known to the public, though his family came forward to share some of the battles he faced before his death. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Perky Films. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe while hitting that bell so you never miss an upload. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe and have a great day.